Playboi Carti has just released arguably the most anticipated album of this entire decade, and with just how much hype is around it, there are undoubtedly many fans who are hearing about him for the first time. However, for all of you who've been there before that, you would know that this album came with years of pain, manipulation, and straight up deception to his fans. This nigga is a liar. So much so to the point where Carti's own fans started trying to get an entire campaign together to mass unfollow him and make him lose millions of followers. And other fans saying that they now understand how it feels to be in an abusive relationship. Now some would look at this marketing strategy and say, wow, this is absolutely dumb. I mean, trust is the foundation of any business relationship, and if your own supporters can't even trust you, how are they supposed to trust you with their money and time? And of course, this is a fact. I mean, it applies to literally every other artist. But yet, Playboi Carti looks this ironclad principle straight in its face and spits on it, yet somehow is rewarded in the process. Why? Why is Playboi Carti so confident that no matter what he does, his fans will always stick by him no matter what? Well, the answer lies in the extremely manipulative and detailed strategy that he's been using over these past few years. The strategy that, after following all 5 of these steps, took him from being some niche meme rapper people didn't take seriously to one of the biggest names in all of music. This is dark and extremely powerful, so make sure you grab a pen. First of all, if you were around back in 2016 to 2017, you would know that Playboi Carti used to be a fairly active rapper in the scene, doing interviews, regular collaborations with other artists, and even becoming a XXL freshman and participating in the cypher, something that he would absolutely never do now. But why did Carti go from being this type of rapper to someone mysterious? Yet when we see other artists try to imitate this, they simply fall off and nobody cares about them. Well, because Carti was at that stage of his career that actually allowed him to do something like that. If you as an underground rapper with 13 followers tries to quote-unquote act mysterious and not drop music or not post anything, I hate to break it to you, but you're only going to look like a cornball, simply because nobody cares until they care. This means that the only way to pull off that mysterious act is to make people actually care about you first. This is why when Yeet came on the scene, everybody thought he was just gonna be another Playboi Carti and hide in the shadows, but instead, he was smart enough to know that he was not yet an established artist, and so he dropped project after project after project to solidify his name in people's minds. It was only after maybe his 3rd project, Afterlife, that Yeet started to slow down and actually build up anticipation for his album 2093 in a very Playboi Carti type of mysterious way. And these two artists are a perfect example of the first principle behind why Playboi Carti's deception actually helps out his career. Because these men are creating monopolies. There is a reason that in most economies in the world, they have laws to prevent any one company from becoming a monopoly. Because they know that once someone has no competition and all of the power over their market, they can pretty much do whatever they want to their customers and they just have to take it. Just like YouTube and these garbage unskippable ads, because obviously there's nowhere else you can go to get that type of content or service. Playboi Carti and Yeet are the only artists in the world who have the specific sound that they do, and so their fans have no choice but to sit back and wait patiently for them to deliver. But that's only half of it, because now we understand why he's allowed to be mysterious and take long to drop. But what about the lies, manipulation, not showing up to events, and straight up garbage treatment toward the fans? I mean, surely if you don't deliver to your fans after long enough, eventually they will give up and get tired of you, right? Well, if you thought this to be true, you are absolutely correct. In pretty much 100% of cases, if an artist stops delivering to their supporters, they will leave them behind. But who said Playboi Carti has not been delivering? Yes, I said it. That might sound insane, but just think about it like this. If we were truly unsatisfied with what Carti has been giving us over the last few years, we would simply just say that he lost his sauce and stop talking about him. An example of someone whose fans are genuinely unsatisfied is Lil Uzi Vert, who recently gave one of the most poorly received albums of the entire decade. But with Playboi Carti, it's a bit different. You see, even though Carti might take long to drop albums, there is no Carti fan who will ever complain about there being a shortage of actual Playboi Carti music available, and that's simply because of the leaks. Every time a project is taking a bit too long or the fans are getting a bit too impatient, a new pack of leaks just so happens to hit the internet, and many speculate that Carti has been leaking his own music. Now whether this is true or not doesn't really matter, because this way he gets to satisfy his fans, test their reception, and also maintain that mysterious aura. On top of this, throughout the entire last year in 2024, Carti again has actually been delivering. Quite a lot actually. He had 3 of the biggest songs with Fiend, Timeless, and Type Shit, and on top of collaborating with all of the biggest artists in the game, he also dropped like 8 songs of his own. Sure, it's no album, but the quality of these songs has been enough to satisfy us for the past year, and that's literally why we've been so hyped for the project and not abandon him. There is only an image that Playboi Carti does not drop music, but in reality, Carti dropped a lot more in the last year than many artists. It's just that we've been so distracted by the hype of the album that these singles felt more like teases than actual drops. And this brings me to my point about why Carti lies. Because Carti knows that when he lies to build hype around his projects, all he needs to do to not lose his fans is deliver in some type of way on the hype that was built. And once he delivers in the form of a song or a feature or God forbid a fit pic, it might not be the type of delivery we were looking for, but it's still something to be consumed, and it's going to do crazy numbers. And most importantly, it's going to be good. The only way to make a fan base genuinely stop caring about you has nothing to do with how you treat them or how good of a person you are. It's whether or not you stop providing them with the product that they want. And as long as he continues to feed us these scraps, keeping his fan base addicted and ensuring that we're still hooked in, there will always be a part of our brain that goes, damn, I know Carti's a terrible person, but his music is so good that I just can't help but wait anyway. Which honestly, like that one tweet I showed earlier in the video, is quite literally how toxic/abusive relationships work. The good moments are so good and so meaningful to you that you're willing to sit through the bad moments just for the hope that the good moments will one day return, and that the person will change and eventually give you what you want. And maybe Carti might give us what we want now, but knowing him, he's always going to be teasing something.
Now, he did tell me one other thing, which I think this is gonna be for y'all Carti fans to start the clock again, to act. He said, after I drop this bitch, I'm ready to drop again. And I'm like, okay.
And honestly, it seems pretty likely that he will, because highly anticipated songs like Drugs Got Me Numb and confirmed songs like the feature with Justin Bieber are nowhere to be found, which means he is yet again doing the exact same thing to us. And speaking of rappers who took a long time away from music and spontaneously returned to massive hype, if you want to learn about the genius marketing behind Mario Judah's comeback, click the video on your screen right now. And as always, this business has been decoded.